When you tell somebody that you keep tarantulas, the first response is usually, why? What are you, crazy? The second response is usually, do you have a bird eater? Now, you and I know that when they're saying bird eater, they're probably referring to the Theraphosa genus. However, we know as keepers that bird eater is a very generic term and there's a wide array of bird eaters. Most beginners shy away from the Theraphosa genus because of the moisture dependency, and they're a little bit harder to keep. I'll go out on a limb and say, for those people that really wanted to start collecting the largest tarantulas, chances are they probably started with an LP, a Lasiodora parahybana. LPs are super common in the hobby. You can get them as freebies, heck, sometimes people are giving them away. But what if I were to tell you that there is a Lasiodora that isn't a parahybana and adds a little bit of uniqueness to it? I'm Jay. This is Jay's Cryptic Creatures. Come on, let's learn something together. Please don't get me wrong. I absolutely adore my female LP. Since my Theraphosa apotheosis matured out male and I sent him off for breeding, my LP is the largest spider I currently have in my collection. And when most people come into the reptile room, they're drawn to the size of that girl, and understandably so. Back in late June of 2022, I had an opportunity to grab a Lasiodora subcanens from Steve at Arachnoid Den. Now, usually I like to do research and really have an understanding of what I'm getting myself into, but frankly, there wasn't a whole lot out there for this species of Lasiodora. Deducting where they're from and, the LP and other Lasiodoras, I deduced how we would, or how I would keep this species, so I went ahead and picked it up. Now, common names are great and all, but we know the troubles that they inherently possess. Just look at all the different common names of red such and such in the Brachypelma genus. It's crazy. However, the common name for this Lasiodora is the silverback bird eater, and I think it's really obvious where that name came from when you see her. So let's get me off the screen. Let's talk about the enclosure. Let's talk about general husbandry. We'll get this girl moved over, and we'll close this video on out. Alright, here's the enclosure we'll be using for our Lasiodora subcanens. It is a large critter keeper. Dimensions are approximately 14.5 by 8.5 by 9.5 tall. We have some fake plants, our water dish. Our soil is the typical soil blend that I use. That's Repti soil as the base, mixed with vermiculite and sphagnum moss. As you can see, we have a moist layer and a dry layer. This will allow this girl to dig if she so chooses. She's fresh out of a molt, and even before this previous molt, she didn't seem to do so much digging anymore. But if given the space, we'll see what she chooses to do. Okay, let's go grab her and move on with the rehousing. All right, so here is this beauty, the Lasiodora subcanens, the silverback bird eater. As I said, fresh out of a molt, probably about 2.5 weeks ago or so. The stretches have finally stopped, so let's get this girl moved on over to her new home, and we'll discuss a little bit of the care. Something to note, you can see here the molt mat that she laid down, which is very typical to the spiders. So pretty cool to observe that. I'll get the molt and I'll try to sex this one. I'm going to keep saying female or she with the assumption that, or maybe the hopes that she is a female. All right, let's get the camera set up and we'll get her moved over. All right, so we got our catch cup, some paintbrushes and other instruments to maybe coax her along. Yeah, without any further delay, let's try to get this girl moved on over. Look at that. So delicate. And just like that, she's up. Love it when that happens. Alright, so let's stop dangling her here and get her moved over. Wow, isn't that perfect? Alright, let me get the camera detached and let's talk about some additional care. Look how fluffy she is. It's incredible, really. Okay, so this Lasiodora species can be found in Brazil. Obviously, the tropical type of environment, hence the moist substrate. I haven't seen her give any preference to moist or not, but again, doesn't really hurt to keep the lower levels moist. This is a Lasiodora species. Not a lot of information's out there. Kind of rare to see it in the hobby. From what I did see, you can expect somewhere in that 8.5, 9-inch range. She is a New World tarantula, and as you can tell by the amount of hairs, she does have urticating hairs, and they will kick as a form of defense. As for growth rate, I would say probably medium. Again, it's all subjective, and growth rate will obviously change based on your conditions. My reptile room stays between 72 degrees Fahrenheit and 82 degrees Fahrenheit, depending on the type of year. As for temperament, I think this was a perfect example. She's been nothing but chill for me. No threat postures, no defensive posturing. Eats great. Never an issue. So super smooth rehousing. This girl was really calm. Kind of worked really nicely with me. Again, coming right off of molt 2.5 weeks ago. Sometimes you can get a feeding response, or you're not quite sure how they're going to react. Each molt changes the temperament of the spider, or has the potential to change the temperament. With that being said, she did a great job. Again, I can't get over enough the gray silver colors of the hair. She really does look like a cross between a T. albo and an LP. I can't wait to see if she does get to that 8-9-inch size. It'll be a really awesome looking spider. Let me know down in the comments if you keep a Lasiodora subcanens. It'll be really great to share and exchange information. Like I said, in the forums, in the general internet searches, there's not a lot out there. So let's share this information together and see if we can get a broader database going. With all this being said, please like, subscribe, share with your friends, and we can continue to learn about spiders, snakes, reptiles, and other cryptic creatures together. Until next time.